Welcome back to LWG. We're having a special, huge battle report here. This is Jared, and I am going to be commanding the Black Legion today against my best bro, John, and his Disciples of Caliban. And here you can see Lord Moros, Sorcerer Lord Moros, is going to be taking on Blizzle. We didn't really come up with a name for the Disciples of Caliban Master, but we're going to... You know, he's not Belial, it's Blizzle, so that's what we're gonna go with. We're gonna go with Blizzle. But we've been playing forever. You might have seen our other Black Legion versus Disciples of Caliban battle report for 7th, but it is now a new age. And in a new age, we have to try out new things. New things that we've been wanting to do for a very long time. Since probably back in 5th edition. We're going to be seeing the entirety of the Deathwing today. An entire Deathwing army versus a massive Black Legion force. We're clocking in at 165 power points today. We're going to be doing a narrative mission. The narrative mission is going to be the Meat Grinder mission. And what this entails is the Black Legion will be the defenders against the onslaught of the Deathwing of the Disciples of Caliban. In the Meat Grinder mission, the only objective is to survive. So can the Black Legion survive the onslaught of the Deathwing? The Deathwing have to table us by the end of the game, and it's a random turn length game. There are some special stratagems that we might be using our command points on. If we do, we'll go over those when we use them. So here we go. We're going to jump into the army breakdown. All right, here we are. The Disciples of Caliban, the first company, the Deathwing. I'm sure you'll be coming up with a specialized name for them, but in effect, this is the Deathwing of the Disciples of Caliban. So here we are, we're here with John, and he's going to do the breakdown of the units here. A lot of them are the same. We are using power level, so everything is kind of like WYSIWYG, right? Yeah.
Right, power level, so it's narrative, so the upgrades are just, every squad has sort of a variety of weaponry, so it looks cool and sort of plays out. Like a squad of bros are hanging together. You got one of everything in the party.
Cool.
So yeah.
Right. and I guess before we go in, how many detachments are you running here?
3. There are 3 Vanguard.
3 Vanguard detachments. So those are the ones that you need in HQ, and 3 elite choices. Which there's a lot of elite choices.
Elite choices.
Right. So it's like all elite choices and a land raider. So
on top.
And you have how many command points?
I think it's 5.
So 5 plus 3 could be battle forged. So you're up to.
No, I think it's 5 too.
5 with the with the plus 3. Okay. So you have 5, including the plus 3. No, that doesn't make any sense. You have to have at least 6.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because you can take a heavy in a Vanguard, so I have 6.
Right. So you were thinking that if you took the Land Raider, it was going to lower your CPs by 1.
You have to take that separate. Right.
But you don't, because there are heavy slots in the Vanguard detachment. Right.
So it's 3 plus a 3 for Battle Forge, so 6.
Rock and roll. So 6 command points. So that'll come into play. So here we go. We're gonna run down the armies here. So first up, what do we got?
There are 6 squads of Deathwing Terminators. So 1.
So 1, 2. Oh, they're back up here. 3, up on the hill. And this squad down here. So I'm seeing lots of Cyclones, seeing lots of Thunderhammers, Storm Shields, so this is going to be crazy.
Deathwing Knight Squad.
Okay, Deathwing Knights. Looking good. And they have the Storm Shields, and they have... Those are effectively Thunderhammers, right? The Maces of Absolution? Is that what they're called? Maces, yes. Yeah, Maces of Absolution. And they are effectively Thunderhammers. They have the...
×2 strength.
Okay.
-2 AP and 3 damage.
Awesome. And without the -1 to hit, though. Oh, so good. So good. Yeah, I'm loving the Death.
Now the Knight Master, the one in the center there, has the Flail of the Unforgiven. That's the one that the wounds spill over.
Awesome.
Into other models. So even if it has 1 wound, the excess wounds spill over into other models.
Oh man,
Special rule.
that is very powerful. Very powerful. Cool. So we got them, and then behind them we've got
3 dreadnoughts. 2 with the multi-melta dreadnought close combat weapon, heavy flamers.
Awesome.
Everywhere. And 1 has a plasma cannon, because Dark Angels, right?
We'll get some shots of these pretty dudes. And behind them, the mighty Land Raider.
We have the Guy Hammer with the quad lattice cannons and the heavy bolter, twin heavy bolter.
So who's going to be riding in there?
The Knights.
Okay.
Knights be riding in there.
Cool. Awesome. All right, so that's the main bulk of the force here. And now because we are playing the Meat Grinder mission, and the Deathwing are the attackers, all of those guys will be able to come back into play to try to eliminate the Black Legion. So
Sustained assault.
Sustained assault. So that's crazy to get all those guys back. So, but leading off the force today, so you have enough HQs to lead all of these detachments. Who do we got today?
We got my man Belizzle with the Thunderhammer Storm Shield, because he'd be rocking that. And he's got his helmet bearer next to him. A little Watcher in the Dark there.
Cool, cool.
And we have Brother Librarian Nicholas here. Little Librarian Terminator armor. Rocking a power axe. Then we have counts as Interrogator Chaplain Terminator armor.
Love that conversion.
It's not much of a conversion. It's a relic there with a Dark Angel symbol.
It's almost, it's almost if the Sigmarines are interchangeable with. Anywho, yeah, moving right along.
We got our Deathwing champion with the Halberd of Caliban.
Ooh, there it is.
Mm-hmm. That's my boy right there. That's my boy.
Now, what does the Halberd of Caliban do?
It is a +3 strength.
Dang.
-4 AP.
Ooh.
D3 damage.
So that's a beast. That is way better than it used to be.
It has 3 attacks. And it can make D3 additional attacks if the target unit contains 5 or more models.
Wow.
With potential of 2 D3, or
I mean,
D3 additional attacks and it's D3 damage. Right?
That is crazy. I mean, I remember making jokes about that thing in our last battle report. Yeah. The challenge was, can you even kill anything with that? But I don't know. I think now that's, I'm scared of the Halberd of Caliban. That's great. Yeah. So cool. And moving on, the last choice for today.
Well,
who's
second
this?
to last.
Second to last. Okay.
That's the Deathwing Ancient. He is rocking the Thunderhammer Storm Shield and the Deathwing Company banner. So any Deathwing within 6 inches of him is going to get an extra attack.
Wow. Okay, he's got to be a
priority. So I'm pairing him up with the Champion, with the Chaplain, with Belizzle. We can rocking some attacks here.
That is crazy. And then the last choice in the army, this guy right here,
is the Deathwing Apothecary.
Ooh, let's get some focus. There we go. And what does he do?
Oh boy, he has the Narcissium.
The Narcissium.
So it can regain D3 lost wounds, and on a 4+ it brings back a killed model.
Wow.
Terminator. So pretty good.
And heals guys, right? Is that what
right?
Okay, yeah.
Heals guys, and on a 4+ brings the guy back.
Right. Okay.
So with all these Terminators, feel like, yeah, it's a good thing.
This is gonna be a tough nut to crack. Yeah. So good thing I've been drinking, so I can handle these guys. This Deathwing. So yeah, if we sound a little different, it's because we're pre-gaming for this game. So
yeah, you'll notice as the game goes on, we get sexier and sexier. It's amazing how that works.
At least we think. At least we think so. Anyway, right? Yeah. Okay. So cheers, onto the Black Legion. All right, here we are, the might of pretty much my entire Black Legion. I've cleared out the shelves for this massive 165-point battle, or PowerPoint battle, and hopefully I have enough to survive the onslaught of the Deathwing. So I'm really looking forward to this. I am running in this list a battalion detachment, which is on the left there. We'll go over it in a second in detail. I'm running a Vanguard detachment in the middle. You can see it there. I am running a super heavy auxiliary detachment, as you see in the back there. There's something standing back there, some big hulking monster that we're gonna get to in a little bit. We'll see. And then I'm also running a spearhead detachment. So that should be making me clock in at, what is that, 7? 7 command points. 7 command points. Yep. Oh, 8. 8 command points. My bad.
You get the Lord of War?
No, you don't get one for the Lord of War. Yeah, I got 8 command points, and my general today is going to be my Terminator Sorcerer, and he's going to take the Warlord trait where he is ignoring wounds on a 6. He's going to take that. I'm assuming you took that one as well. We missed that, your Warlord trait. Yep, that's probably the best one. We like that one. So so there's that. So here we go. We're going to do the army breakdown. So the 1st Battalion detachment is led by none other than Sorcerer Lord Moros, my favorite guy. Terminator Sorcerer Lord. He's got a Force Staff and a Combi Melta, and like I said, he's the Warlord, so ignoring those wounds. He is no self-respecting Sorcerer Lord of Chaos wouldn't have a Warpsmith in his back pocket owing some favors. So Glaucus the Blasphemer, the Warpsmith, is joining the force today, and he is bringing with him, he is the master of mechanisms, he's bringing with him the Brass Scorpion, which we'll get to in a little bit, but he's in charge of that thing. Built it by hand, it's his baby. So also in the battalion detachment, we have a squad of 10 Chaos Space Marines on foot with a Power Fist Sergeant and 2 plasma guns. I think they're going to come in handy. And behind them, we've got a 10-man cultist squad with the auto guns. In the front here, we've got a Rhino with 5 Chaos Space Marines, and the sergeants have power swords, or excuse me, aspiring champions have power swords, and they have 1 melta gun each. The Rhinos are equipped with a twin bolt gun and a Havoc launcher. There are 2 squads, like exactly the same as that in the battalion. And then for a fast attack choice, we have 4 Chaos Spawn. And since this is PowerPoints, I was able to spam my upgrades, and I think all the Chaos Space Marines have the Icon of Excess, which is going to allow them to get extra attacks. It buffs their ability on 6s to hit in close combat. They have the Death to the False Emperor rule, and the Icons of Excess allow that to trigger on 5s and 6s instead. And if you give them Prescience, it goes off on 4s, which is great. So hopefully that comes into play to help me fend off the Deathwing. So in the Vanguard detachment, we've got, led by Sorcerer, or this is, excuse me, not a Sorcerer, this is a Chaos Lord in Terminator armor, and I apologize, he is modeled for 7th edition, but he's one of my absolute favorite models that I've made. But he's rocking a Power Fist and a Combi Melta. Now I know he has this giant mace that I made to use with the Black Mace when it was in 7th edition, and my heart hurts for the Black Mace lose. I hope at some point, and I'm pretty confident about it, that GW will bring back the artifacts, but until then we're going to be saying that he has laser beam eyes for a Combi Melta. That's what he's got. So a Power Fist and a Combi Melta Terminator Lord. And behind him is a squad of 5 Chaos Terminators, and they are, there's one with a Reaper auto, Reaper autocannon, Chain Fist. The champion's got a Combi Plasma and a Power Axe. There's another dude behind him with a Combi Melta and a Power Fist. And then 2 more Combi Plasma Power Axe guys. They also have the Icon of Excess. They served me pretty well so far in 8th, and they're going to be rocking out again. For the first time here that I've seen, we're rocking some Forge World today. The Chaos Contemptor Dreadnought is coming on out to play. I love this guy in 7th. I use him in a lot of my battle reports, and he is back. Finally have the rules. Today he's going to be equipped with a an Ectoplasma Blaster in his fist, and then his I forget what it's called. It's like a Hellforged Dreadclaw of Awesome. So that's his fist. It's like a standard Dreadnought close combat weapon. And then it's not modeled correctly. I apologize. It looks like a Carry's assault cannon, which is new to Chaos. We can actually get that now. But
Hellforged Deathclaw.
The Hellforged Deathclaw. Boom. And but his gun is going to actually be the Butcher Cannon for today. I love the upgrades and the changes they've done to this. A little disappointed that I can't dual wield ranged weapons, but in true Chaos fashion, why would I go without a melee weapon? So hopefully he performs well, because I love that guy when I see him in more lists. So cool. So moving on, we've got another elite choice here, which is the Possessed. I'm giving them another try, even though they didn't do very good in the last battle. They have the Icon of Excess, and there are 10 of them. in the squad this time, and they have no other upgrades. And then behind them, the super heavy detachment, the Brass Scorpion of Khorne. This thing is awesome. It's 32 power points, but it is bringing massive destruction to the table. We're gonna see how it does in its first outing here in 8th. I have a feeling it's gonna do really well. Although, strictly speaking, it is a little bit less durable than a knight. It has a 5-up invuln save, 20 wounds, toughness 8. It does regenerate a wound every turn, which is great. But what he does, and he's more expensive than a knight, and the reason why is his damage output is off the charts. For his point cost, I don't think there is a more devastating unit you can bring to the table. So he's a little on the squishy side for a knight level unit, but massive amounts of damage output from those claws, the main cannon in his face there, and his tail gun and his flamethrowers. It's just, he's devastating. So hopefully he does well this game and not just blown up in one shot. So, all right, and then the last detachment today is going to be the Spearhead detachment that I have here. It is led by a, ooh, he's in the dark there. Hopefully you can see him. A simple Chaos Lord with a plasma pistol and a, oh, there, thank you, and a power sword. So very simple loadout. I wish I could get artifacts and make them like better than they were, or he could get like a relic sword or something, but nope. Just a power sword to plasma pistol. But he does give that awesome reroll to hit one's aura, which is great. Other choice for the heavy support is a Havoc squad with 4 las cannons. Devastating setup, love that unit. We've got a Chaos Land Raider, which was MVP of the outing versus the AdMech, my last battle. And hopefully he does well. I don't see how he can't do well. Land Raiders are just amazing. And I'm running the Godhammer pattern. I'm probably gonna stick the Possessed in that Land Raider. And then here we go, another Forge World unit. It is the Hellforged Rapier Battery, and it's 4 crewmen, 2 guns, and they're running the C-Beamer. Is that what it's called? The C-Beam Cannon. The C-Beam Cannon, which is basically the conversion beamer. Right. They just changed the name because, I don't know, C-Beam. The C-Beam. We're gonna blow up some guys with the C-Beam. So there you have it. That is 165 power points of Black Legion. Coming at you hot. Hopefully we can survive this meat grinder with the Deathwing. Deathwing. Yeah. That's the bourbon talking. That's the bourbon talking. So here we go. Moving into the setup. All right, here we are after the deployment. And you might be saying, Jared, what are all those red tokens on your deployments and where are your guys? Where's the Brass Scorpion? Well, they're all hiding because this is the concealed deployment. And what it is because I'm the defender, I have laid ambush in this meat grinder mission for the Deathwing. And all those tokens represent one of my unit drops. So that's how I actually end up deploying. And I have 24 inches up the board to deploy anywhere I want. And I put down a token. So he doesn't know what's there. It could be a Brass Scorpion, or it could be cultists. The Deathwing just don't know. And I love this setup. It's going to be super fun. So after we do that, the Deathwing actually have their setup. You have 12 inches up. 12 inches up. Right? 12 inches up.
So there's 12 between us.
Yep. And the Deathwing have deployed, as you see here, along this edge in a very tight packed defensive formation to scour these hillsides and leave no stone unturned for the Black Legion evil heretics.
It's a scouting party because we don't know where the Black Legion is hiding in these mountains.
Right.
The mountain pass.
You know I'm here, but you don't know where.
But there was a spy amongst the Legion.
So one of the special strategy things you can do. The stratagems. Right. It's very very high Gothic, or whatever you will. Yeah, one of the stratagems he can select, and I believe it's one command point you can spend. Right. So that drops you down to 7. Will put you in. Oh, you have 6. That's right. That's why I have 8. It's a bourbon talking. So, yeah. So you have 5 left, and what that allows him to do is pick one of my tokens and reveal it. So we're gonna do that now. Where did the spy? What token did the spies reveal?
The one in the middle. The one right in the middle.
This one right here.
The visible one to the arm.
All right, and that was the Chaos Spawn. The way it works is that in my first turn, everything is revealed, right? or in the first turn, everything's revealed. So we'll go through, and I really like it because during the deployment, he doesn't know what he's doing. So he can't like set up ambushes or set up snipers or put the Land Raider in a position to get, fire down on the Brass Scorpion or something.
I think I can. But then you cleverly know that I think you might do that.
Right.
So you sort of set a trap with the markers. Right.
Yeah, it's like a mini game in the game, and it's great. And you also have some units in reserves. You put the Deathwing. The Deathwing Knights are in the Land Raider. You have
2 units of Deathwing Terminators in reserve, and all the characters are in reserve.
Okay, all the characters and 2.
And they're all deep strike.
Deep strike. Okay, so they'll be able to show up 9 inches away from me. And now the way it works is there was some stratagems that I could have picked as well, and I might still do that because prior to the Deathwing moving into this valley, they are going to call on high to the strike cruiser to bombard the area, try to force the Black Legion out of their holes.
The spawn are here. The Black Legion location is noted to us. We call upon the strike cruiser to rain down some justice and fury.
Fury and justice will be brought in the form of preliminary. The preliminary bombardment will be launched, which is going to potentially do a lot of damage to me. But I have some counter strategies, like I can dig foxholes and stuff like that, and we'll see if that comes into play. So, there's the initial setup, and we now go into the finalized deployment phase. All right, Black Legion deployment after the reveal of my forces. What we've got here? We got the Contemptor Dreadnought holding down the right flank. And on this hill of death and destruction, we got the Rapiers with the C-beamers. C-beams. We got the las cannons up in here on the hill. The cultists making a screen in the front, ready to ambush some Terminators and die. The spawn, which were revealed by the spies, are up in the front. Behind them, we've got the Land Raider, backed up by the Chaos Space Marine squad. I forgot. Hiding on the hill here to give support to his men is the leader of the Spearhead Detachment, the Chaos Lord there. I'll have to give him a name then. The big old Brass Scorpion with a commanding view of the battlefield. You can see the Deathwing in the distance. It's going to be brutal. And then the Rhinos taking up the flanks. And I have my Terminator Sorcerer, Lord Moros, my Terminator Lord, the Terminators, all in Deep Strike Reserve. They're going to be showing up. Oh, and the Land Raider, the Possessor. So, the preliminary bombardment is coming up. You want to start rolling? I'll explain how it works. So basically, as the attacker, the strike cruiser is unloading on the area now that they've made contact, and he's going to roll a dice for each one of my units that I have deployed. And on a 6, they get struck by the preliminary bombardment from the strike cruiser, and they suffer D6 mortal wounds. Craziness. Now, there are some counters I have for it. I can expend a command point if it's an infantry unit and use a foxhole, which will have the damage done to that infantry unit. Right. I could also, that's what I can do.
And then infantries can also choose to go to ground.
Right.
And then they only suffer D3 mortal wounds, but then they get no actions the first turn.
Ooh, so choices. Now, I think I decide that after they get struck, so that'll be cool.
So I hit a 6, and then you decide before.
And interestingly, before he fires on a unit, he could also expend a command point to fire 3. What it does is 1 CP, and it's sustained bombardment, allows him to roll 3 dice for that target instead of 1 to try to get the 6. So, but he's going to be burning CPs if he's wanting to really hit stuff. So we'll see what he does. So here we go. So the preliminary bombardment.
We'll do the cultists first? No.
Not on the cultists.
Contemptor. No. The Rapier. Oh, man.
It hits the Rapier with the preliminary bombardment.
One squad of Rapier?
It's 1 squad with 2 Rapiers. So how many mortal wounds?
You like to use a stratagem?
I might. It depends on what you roll. Remember, I have it.
When do you use it?
How does it?
Is hit.
Oh, so I got to decide now?
Right.
I'm going to have it. I'm burning a CP. I'm going to have it.
The foxhole.
All right, what do we got here?
Foxhole, so it's half.
In the foxhole, because there are infantry models in that unit.
So it's half of this.
So only 2 mortal wounds. 2 mortal wounds. I will take that, and we'll put it on the unit then. Yeah. So, cool.
So, last cannon squad. No. Land Raider!
Land Raider gets struck I can't do anything about it. He's not infantry.
Oh, man.
D6 mortal. One. Just one mortal. All right, all right. The spawn?
Spawn?
Nope. Chaos Space Marines.
Chaos Marines?
Nope. Brass Scorpion.
Nope.
Nope. And Rhino?
Rhino 1? Nope. Rhino 2? No.
Okay, all right. So 1 mortal wound to the Land Raider and 2 mortal wounds to the Rapiers, which is actually quite a big deal.
Oh, and the Warpsmith.
Oh, the Warpsmith. Nah! Woo!
He hides back here.
Warpsmith Glaucus dodges that laser beam.
They call him the bullet dodger.
Yes. So cool. I love that startup. It's very narrative. We're really liking how we set up and how we play here. So yeah, now we're gonna do the roll off live.
Yeah, we'll do roll live.
So the way it works is on a 1, 2, 3, the Deathwing are gonna go first, and on a 4, 5, 6, the Black Legion are gonna go first. So here it is. You got the dice? You got the dice? John's got the dice. He's going to roll it. Live on camera. First turn.
Oh! That is a Defender has first turn.
Defender has first turn on a 6. That means Black Legion is going first.
Da, da, da.
And all hell breaks loose on this massive battlefield. All right, Black Legion turn 1. We've combined the moving phase and the shooting phase, well, and the psychic phase, but I didn't have one here for this. Sorry, we'll try to remember to cut in there. But so after Black Legion shooting phase, what went down? Well, over here, it was actually a pretty brutal turn, so we'll try to go through. The Chaos Contemptor Dreadnought right here fired his Butcher Cannon into the Terminators on this side, and they made their mighty save with their mighty Terminator Ceramite. The Butcher Cannon just bounced through. Oh no, he shot into the Dreadnought, but it bounced off of his Ceramite as well and did nothing. The C-beamers from the Rapier, Chaos Rapiers, could just make out 1 Terminator here on this flank. They got 1 wound through, and he did die. It did like 4 damage to that one Terminator and just vaporized him. Cultists, they just held there and did nothing. Over here, aided by their Chaos Lord, the Chaos Terminator, or the Chaos Havocs with the las cannons, fired into the Deathwing Terminators right here and dropped, I think, 1 of them? Killed 1 of them, yeah. With the las cannon fire. Then the Rhino fired his Havoc launcher into the front rank of Terminators there, ineffectually bouncing off their thick armor. So as you see a theme here, the Terminators are soaking up a ton of damage output. But then the big guns started unleashing. The Land Raider into the enemy Land Raider with his las cannons took off 4 wounds. The Heavy Bolter dropped 1 wound off one of the front rank of Terminators. And then the Scorpion, the Brass Scorpion, is savage. It fired its Scorpion tail into the front rank of Deathwing Terminators, cutting down 2 whole Terminators. He has 10 shots with his tail gun. Does strength 6, rend 2, 2 damage. Just slicing through Terminator armor, blowing them apart. And then the Soul Shatter Bombard fired into the Land Raider, who was already down 4 wounds, which means he only had, what, 12 left? Yeah. Fires a Soul Shatter Bombard, 5 shots, 2 get through, and they do 2d6 damage to the Land Raider each, doing 18 wounds to the Land Raider, exploding it, taking a Deathwing Knight down with him. Luckily, the vehicle did not explode and do mortal wounds to everybody around, but it is off the field from the might of the Brass Scorpion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brass Scorpion is real. He is still terrifying. Dare I say, more terrifying in 8th than he was in 7th. That is crazy. So that is first blood for the Black Legion. I don't know if we are doing that or not. No, it's just to survive. Yep. But still, first blood. First blood for the Black Legion. But the reprisal will be swift. It will be brutal. The Deathwing, no remorse. And there's no assaults, so Deathwing, turn 1. All right, after Deathwing, turn 1, movement phase, the assault has begun. The Deathwing are full bore advancing up the field. Now, with the destruction of the Land Raider and in this special meat grinder mission, he is able to roll a dice, and on a 4+, the Land Raider could return. It did not return, which is sad, but I do believe we keep rolling for it every turn. So the Deathwing have massively outnumber us. They're bringing full first company strength with reinforcements against the Black Legion in this sector. So we'll see if that happens in the further turns, but not this time. So here we go. Oh, and this squad up here deep struck in over there, and the entire mass with the dreadnoughts and all the characters now have appeared in the midst to lend support to the Deathwing Knights and the Deathwing veterans as they move in to the hot gates. Death and destruction awaits them at the hands of the Brass Scorpion. And then there was one brave, we'll call them brave unit of Deathwing Terminators that did manage to get within the 9-inch threshold on their deep strike over here. And they're going to hopefully get in there on that Contemptor Dreadnought, maybe pepper and kill some of the gunners, or maybe even a rapier platform itself. And we'll see. They're in a pretty good position down here in the corner to cause me some problems. I was trying to block it, but I moved the dread too far up. Bloodlust made me greedy. What can I say? All right, that's that. Moving into Deathwing Psychic and Shooting phases. We're going to combine them. All right, Deathwing, turn 1, shooting phase is concluded. John thinks it was bad. I thought overall it was pretty good, all things considered. All things considered. So what happened? So Deathwing Terminator squad here. The plasma cannon guy, who looks awesome by the way. There's his plasma cannon. He fired up at the Havoc squad that's there, and he missed. He fired and he missed. Now we thought he blew himself up because he rolled a 1, but then we were like, oh, it's the bourbon talking again. He didn't overcharge. He didn't overcharge. So he's still alive.
But he decided it was not.
Yeah.
Clearly that was the right decision.
Yeah, he's still alive. The rest of the Stormbolter fire, which is like 10 shots from just 3 dudes, which is crazy, into the rapiers, did 3 wounds, which is respectable. But because they're in cover, they did get that 2-up save, that money save. That's good. No shots were done into the Contemptor. This squad over here with the Stormbolters and Cyclone missiles fired into the Rapier squad, doing 1 wound to the front Rapier gun there that you see. I believe that was from the
Stormbolter.
The Stormbolter. The crack missiles missed, but the Stormbolters put the wound on, which is great. Stormbolters are really good. Moving up here into this mass of Dark Angel, there was a lot of firepower from the Terminators with Stormbolters, including, it was pretty much everybody except for the Apothecary. We'll get to him in a second. Fired all their Stormbolters into the Spawn here. And let me tell you guys, Spawn are a thing. That toughness 5 with 4 wounds and they have a 5-up save, they just shrug small arms fire like it's nothing. And we'll see. Hopefully you can see them in combat how they do. I like Spawn. I think they're a go-to choice. So, but there was a deluge of firepower going into them.
Now they actually have a save. I mean, absolutely.
Right, they went from no save to having a 5+. That's a pretty big deal. Other fire over here. All the 2 dreadnoughts here with their multi-meltas are in danger close range of the Black Scorpion, and they did fire it in there, but one of them missed and the other one did get through, but the Scorpion made his 5-up demon save. The lead dreadnought here did fire his heavy flamer into the Spawn and I do believe he did a couple of wounds to the lead Spawn. All that fire and that heavy flamer did cut down the lead Spawn there, the green Nurgle Spawn. I like my undivided Spawn.
Like that? Yeah. Oh, and the Librarian did cast Smite into the Spawn, did 1 mortal wound.
That's right.
And aversion the Scorpion. So the Scorpion is -1 to hit.
Correct.
That's a big deal.
The Deathwing Librarian has... It is a big deal. The Deathwing Librarian has some great spells. That aversion, you just pick an enemy unit, and was it 24?
24 inches.
24 inches. To give -1 to hit, that is a big deal. So that's going to... That affects all melee.
6. It's really pretty low.
Yeah. That affects melee and it affects shooting. So that is that's going to be, I think that's going to play a part in the game. The other hilarious part that happened is, where is he? Where's that champion of mankind? That apothecary right there fired his storm bolter at his only target he could see, the Brass Scorpion. Plink, 1 wound from a storm bolter. That guy is a sniper. He was like, hey guys, check this out. I'm going to shoot that cable off of that storm. Awesome stuff. That's just great that can happen. This squad over here did split fire the Cyclones into the Scorpion. Again, making multitude of 5+ demon saves. So ineffectual there. And then the hero of the shooting phase, this man right here. What is his name? What is his name, good sir? I
didn't give him the name yet. I didn't give him the name yet.
See, John has all of his Deathwing guys named except for this hero.
The newer guys, yeah.
Yeah. He's a hero of the Dark Angels because he actually mowed down 4 of 5 Havocs from this las cannon squad. Just with he levels his assault cannon, just spraying death through the valley there and just cutting down the whole squad. It was brutal. They'll probably run away from Battle Shock. So that's it for the Dark Angels shooting phase. John said it was pretty ineffective. I actually thought he did pretty well, all things considered. So cool. Moving on to the charges, and we'll do the charges, and then we'll break in for the assault phases. All right, after the Deathwing turn 1 charge phase, it was pretty awesome. So what happened here? Well, the front Terminator squad that was, as you see, they were back up there in that area. They came forward, got into the spawn, and they got a huge roll. They were up here. They were up here over on this side of the hill. Came up over with a 10. And they're still in coherency across that way and pulled in that way. They are not within an inch of the Brass Scorpion. They are not within an inch of the Land Raider because they didn't want to pull those guys in. So that was cool. They made it in and left a little gap for this Dreadnought. He also made his big charge and made it in. Got an 8, I believe is what he needed. Yep. And then over here, this 3-man Terminator squad that was the Vanguard already got peppered by the Scorpion. Charged in, got peppered some more, but made their saves. They did not lose any more members. And then the big charge of the Chaplain Dreadnought. He rolled first he rolled a 6 and a 3, and he needed a 9 to get in, right? No, you needed a 10. He needed a 10 to get in. And you failed the charge using the command reroll, gets the 6, moves 12 in to charge the Scorpion. This could be the end of the Brass Scorpion. It has 19 wounds left going into the combat. Going into the combat phase. All these Deathwing are going to be striking first. It is going to be brutal. Deathwing, turn 1, combat. All right, Disciples of Caliban, turn 1 charges. Wow, oh, combat phase. Wow, what a turn. What went down here? Well, as you see, the spawn are gone because that Dreadnought there and all these Termies here, Dreadnought close combat weapon, and Thunderhammers just obliterated that unit. Now, I will tell you, the order of way things went down was interesting because he made all his charges, so all these things were striking first. So he started off, so you see the Venerable Dread down there. He came in swinging hot. First roll of the Dark Angel's turn, did 6 damage to the Brass Scorpion. Even though the Brass Scorpion did make a bunch of saves. It was great. He made a ton of saves. But still, a lot of damage coming in. Dreadnoughts are scary. Then the Black Legion used their 2 command points to break order of the combat and have the.
We knew it was going to happen.
Right.
With the claws, we knew.
I mean, I have to use the Hellforged Claws of craziness on the Brass Scorpion. I mean, those things are crazy. He's strength what? 17? Yeah, strength 14 with 8 attacks.
8 attacks.
8 attacks. Hitting on 4s because you put aversion, which was a very smart thing. They do -4 AP and 6 damage.
6 damage.
So he put 4 attacks. When I broke in, I put 4 attacks on the Terminators, 4 attacks on the Dreadnought. And one of the Terminators goes down, and I did 6 damage to the Dreadnought because I only got 1 through.
Save 1 with the Behemoth roll. The unyielding Behemoth.
Right, because it's a venerable dreadnought. It has, whenever it suffers damage, he gets to roll a dice, and on a 6, he ignores it.
On every wound.
On every wound. So he rolled 6 dice, and he made one of the saves. So he suffered 5, my bad. He suffered 5 damage. Then the Thunderhammer Terminators piled in, because it was their turn, and they managed to squeak 1 Thunderhammer through and do 3 more damage. So 9 damage done to the Scorpion. The Spawn never even got to swing. They were obliterated. And then in the pile-in moves, we think we're doing this right. That Dreadnought piled into the Brass Scorpion, and the Terminators piled in, pulling in the Cultists, because that was the closest model there, and pulling in the Land Raider, shutting down its guns. So this is a big deal.
And this Dread also piled into the
right.
Scorpion there.
Yeah. So I mean, now the Scorpion can usually shoot in combat if he's only tied up with infantry, but those Dreadnoughts, like, they grab onto his legs and his claws, and they're like, "No, you're not shooting anyone." So he's not going to be shooting. Although he does have some cheeky pistols.
Somehow.
Some pistol flamers.
Somehow the giant claw is also holding a flamer pistol.
Right, flamer pistols. So we're going to see what those do. And that's it for the... Oh, and then I forgot to show over here. These Terminators went for the long bomb charge on the Contemptor. He turned around and blew away the Sergeant with his ectoplasma blaster. It was horrific.
Hot liquid plasma.
Yeah, just melted that Sergeant. So, cool. That's that. Moving into Black Legion, turn 2. All right, Black Legion, turn 2, movement phase. The board is filled with battle and glory and carnage. The forces of light versus the forces of darkness. What happened here on turn 2? Well, we had some massive shuffling. Since the goal here, it was a big debate for me. The goal here is to survive, is to live, for me. I just can't get tabled by the end of the game. Normally, I think I would leave the Scorpion in to do some damage, shoot his pistols. He's got those pistol flamers. But I do have a Warp Smith with me. The Scorpion does heal 1 wound a turn. And I find that even though if I fall back, he doesn't have any special rules that let him shoot or charge or anything. So the Scorpion's going to be out of the game for this round, which John is loving. But I think falling back and getting healed up a bit, because this is about lasting. You know, that's what the mission's about. It's not about just killing for me. It's about surviving. So we pulled him out of combat. He moved back. Glaucus the Blasphemer is in 1 inch to be able to heal him, hopefully, and to shoot his weapons into some choice targets down there. Meanwhile, on this flank over here, the Rhino rolled up, and the Melt-A-Gun squad got out, and they're eyeing up the venerable Dreadnought that's been giving us problems. Over here we had some more shuffling with the Rhino. I thought about sending him over here on this side to try to harass that, but I think look at the flow of the battle is definitely moving towards my right flank. That's where I'm strong. I don't want to get strung out over there and have one of his resurrected units from his wave of Terminators come in and just pick off that unit. It's about surviving. So, but I had some more shuffling here with the Chaos Space Marines. They're going to be laying down some hot plasma onto these Dark Angels here. The Possessed got out to hopefully do some work of the Dark Gods here. Their prime target is going to be like a target like Terminators, a target like Chaos Space Marine or other Space Marines, because they have that Ren 2. Yeah, they have the AP2 on there with the Strength 5. They can do a lot of damage, and I'm hoping that they do. My last battle, I sent them in on a Knight because I had to, and that was not what they're good. Now I did pull back. No, they got squished. But we'll give them another go. The Land Raider did pull back here. He won't be able to shoot, but he disgorged his horrific cargo. The Chaos Lord that was up on the mountain, he moved down in here to lend his buff support and even his plasma pistol, and maybe he'll charge in. So we'll see what happens. He's in play now. He's getting danger close. Havocs and Rapier held still, and the Contemptor Dreadnought moved over here to line up this Deathwing squad. I'm confident that he can handle them, but they are tough. We'll see what happens. And then the Cultists fell back so that we can target those Terminators with ranged weapons. And over here, the Command Squad has arrived. 5 Chaos Terminators with all the works, and Sorcerer Lord Moros himself, backed up by his second in command, the Chaos Lord Malik. They're going to be pushing this right flank, hopefully wasting this Terminator squad. And then that'll force the Dark Angels to choose. Do they want to head up the middle valley here, or are they going to go down the right to engage the Lord? Engage their quarry. Get their captives to question about the location of the fallen. All right, breaking into the action here. We forgot to do it. Glaucus the Blasphemer repairing the Brass Scorpion. D3. Heals it for 1. But with it's already 1, that means it heals 2. It's up. It has suffered 8 damage. So good job there. All right, so Black Legion Psychic phase. Lord Moros is going to cast Prescience for the +1 to hit on the Terminator unit. So he needs a 7. Goes off on a 10. And Brother Nathaniel, is that what it is? Nathaniel?
Nicholas.
Nicholas. So I always get it wrong. Brother Nicholas is just outside of 24 and unable to deny. So that goes off, and he's also going to try to cast Warp Time on them as well. Need a 6. Goes off on an 11. Dang, I should have cast Smite. So, but no perils, which is great, and they're going to move again with the Warp Time and the +1 to hit. They are all juiced up and ready to engage some Deathwing Terminator. Chaos Space Marines, turn 2, shooting phase. The elite bodyguard of Lord Moros unloaded all their combi plasmas, combi meltas, bolt guns, and the Reaper autocannon into the mighty Deathwing Terminators, and managed to do 1 wound to a Storm Shield guy and kill the Power Fist guy and Storm Bolter guy. So he went down there. Good job there. Over here, the Contemptor fired his Butcher Cannon into the Terminators here. Cut down 1 of them because it does 2 damage. Yeah? I think that's right.
Because the Ectoplasma.
No, that one overheated and missed.
Overheated.
Yeah, then he fired the Ectoplasma Blaster and it overheated and did a mortal wound to him that you see there. Jerk. It could have done better with that. Up here, the Rapier batteries fired into the Terminator squad here and did nothing. They just tanked it with their shield. The Las Cannon guy, in vengeance for his squad being slain, put 4 wounds on the Venerable Dread. 3 wounds because you saved it with the Ven Dread thing coming in strong. 3 wounds on the Venerable Dreadnought. Up here, there's a bunch of fire from the Rhinos over here, and that was it. It was the Rhinos. Oh, the Rhinos and the Chaos Lord and Lord Moros firing into these Deathwing Terminators were able to put 1 wound on them from the combined fire, which was really good. And then this Chaos Space Marine squad fired into the Terminators, cutting down the one without the Storm Shield. We're seeing something. The Chaos Space Marine squad here with the Melt-A-Gun split their fire. Bolt guns into the Terminator squads. Ineffectual. Crack grenade and Melt-A-Gun from that guy right there into the Dreadnought. Blew it sky high. It's dead. It did not explode, however, which John was hoping for, but it didn't. And then the final shooting of the round was this Chaos Lord leveling his mighty plasma pistol at that last Terminator there. He opted to go for the overcharged shot. Since he hits on 2s, re-rolling 1s because he is the Chaos Lord.
And he's in range of himself.
Double 1s, explodes the plasma pistol. The Chaos Lord is slain, and Lord Moros is going to need another lieutenant because clearly this guy was not cutting it.
And the Terminator is still alive.
Yeah, stupid. Oh, so first overheat plasma of 8th edition.
Congrats.
Of course, the first time I overheat it, of course it kills the guy. I mean, I never even opted to overheat until now. Oh, jeez. All right. So that being said, I think a solid overall shooting phase for me. I did what I needed to do. And now we're going to go into the charges. So charge a clock. All right, Black Legion, turn 2 charges. Elite Bodyguard of Lord Moros charges in. They eat the Overwatch from he opted for the double frag shot, but failed to hit. They did just make their charge, rolling a 4. And thank God, too, because I didn't have any command points left. Because this guy's being a thorn in me. He's being annoying. He's like, hey, how dare you keep me in the cruiser for the last 10,000 years? I'm going to burn all your command points. Okay, so this guy charged in. He didn't suffer anything from Overwatch. Rolled a 3. So I had to use my command point, leaving me with 2 left to get him into combat. God. All right, it's time to earn your points back, Contemptor. And earn your name, too. Over here, the possessed charged in. But not before, I don't know what you're teaching these guys on assault cannon training, but that assault cannon fired 6 shots, hit with 4, wounded with 4, and cut down 3 possessed before they, I mean, man, you should just be taking assault cannons. That's just madness. So, but the possessed did make it in, as we knew. And then up here, the Chaos Space Marines charged in to hopefully take down that elite Terminator, but you never know nowadays. Single models can be pretty scary, so cool. All right, moving into fight phase. Black Legion turn 2 combat phase. We activated the possessed first, and they killed 2 Terminators. Go ahead and pull them off, and put 1 wound on the assault cannon guy. All right, John uses his last 2 command points to interrupt the charge order and attacks with his Deathwing Terminators and Thunderhammers and Storm Shields, and does 4 wounds. I make 3 of the 4 saves out of 5+, and only 1 Terminator goes down. Perfect. Chaos Space Marines swing in, Power Sword Champion, and 4 dudes. They did 2 wounds to him, 1 with the Power Sword, 1 without the Power Sword, and Jerkhole saved them all. So he's still alive. Over here, the Contemptor swings in, does a mighty 3 damage at strength 14, -3 rend, 3 damage each. And this dude with this, he goes in 300 style and is like, no brothers, and Storm Shield saves all of the damage. Craziness. So good work there. My Terminators pile in and attack with their power axes and power fist and chain fist and cut down 2 of the Terminators. Last guy saving his Storm Shield saves. All right, the Thunderhammer Champion strikes back, slaying 2 heretic Chaos Space Marines. More valiant Deathwing Terminators striking down 3 more possessed. Deathwing Terminators activating against the Contemptor. 4 wounds get through. 1's from a Thunderhammer, 3 from Power Fists. Contemptor sticks all of his 4-up invuln saves. He has a 4-up invulnerable against melee attacks in the fight phase. He's limbering up. He's ready to go. All right, and in the, what's it called? The bravery phase or the battle shock phase? Whatever it is, or Sigmar is seeping in. The possessed lost 6 and 2 more fled. It was horrible. But the Chaos Space Marines over here sticking their leadership and staying. All the Deathwing are fine because they hardly lose any models. And going into Deathwing turn 2. Cool. Dark Angels turn 2. Movement phase. What went down? Well, the Venerable Dread is moving up, and his goal is to lock down the Land Raider. And he's going to do it, because I think he's going to charge. The plan is to charge the Chaos Space Marines, but be within 1 inch of the Land Raider, avoiding the Land Raider's Overwatch, and turning off its guns again. Why couldn't that Chaos Lord just be alive? He would have blocked. Anyway, good move there. And then here, in the hot gates, Deathwing, what is your profession? Coming in. They're coming in with this valiant battle brother holding back the Chaos Space Marine tide. And here comes the Deathwing to cleanse the heretical taint from these mountains. Just moving in.
Deathwing love the taint.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, other than that, not too much. Oh yeah, sorry. The characters over here, they did move up, and I think I kind of made a mistake getting too close with my Termies, but I had to try to kill that squad. And then, Brother Apothecary, resurrecting a Deathwing Terminator. A Deathwing Knight, the one that died in the explosion.
The one that died in the Land Raider.
Awesome.
On
Those Apothecaries are just awesome. So that was great. And we also did the Deathwing Psychic phase, where he did Aversion again on the Brass Scorpion. Now, does your librarian only cast one spell?
No,
you cast 2, but you didn't have anything else to
I cast my Bedingo off.
Right, that's right. Okay, cool. All right, shooting phase, Deathwing, turn 2. All right, Dark Angels, turn 2, shooting phase, and what went down? A whole lot of nothing, in my opinion, but some little bits of something. Yeah, so a lot of I mean, this entire valley is just Stormbolter. Like, it was just tons of Stormbolters, and you took down 2 Chaos Space Marines from there. The Dreadnought burned another one, so that's 3 total. I believe, from the Stormbolter and Heavy Flamer on the kid. They did good. I think they did well. The Brass Scorpion has suffered 13 wounds, so it's 5 more damage to it this turn. That was from a crack missile from the Cyclone missile launcher, and 1 again from those sniper assault cannons. Just peppering wounds onto my army. It's not good. Other than that, there was not much else in the shooting, so we fared well. We fared well. Going into Deathwing, turn 2, charges. All right, Blizzle, the big man, swinging his hammer first. Combat phase, turn 2, and obliterates all the Chaos Terminators by himself. Belial.
The man, the legend.
The Disciples of Caliban, Blizzle. Chapter Master Blizzle, rocking out the whole squad. I broke into combat using my last 2 command points, so both of us have used all of our command points by the end of turn 2.
And I'm spent.
And my Chaos Space Marines unsheathing their knives and cracking open the Dreadnought. Thunderdome. Ripping the pilot out, killing him. Does not explode. Well done, Chaos Space Marines. The Interrogator Chaplain swinging his mighty Crozius into the Chaos Space Marines and cutting down 1. The Deathwing Knights charging up the Maces of Absolution and purging the heretics. Both Chaos Space Marines destroyed. Deathwing Terminators activate. Thunderhammer goes in. Contemptor makes the 4-up save. Power Fists go in. 2 damage, or 2 wounds go in. Saves 1 with his 4-up invuln. Suffers 2 damage from the other Power Fist, bringing him to suffering 3. Possessed activate next. Do nothing, because Possessed are garbage. They rolled 1 attack each for their random. And I'm sitting here wondering, if Possessed costs the exact same amount as Berserkers, and the Berserkers actually get special weapons and attack twice and have more attacks, and they don't have to roll for random, GW, there's no reason to ever take Possessed, ever, while Berserkers live. Please do something to make them viable. Thank you. Deathwing Terminator striking back, killing 1 of the Possessed, because they're useless. Contemptor swinging in. He stumbles over a rock, only gets 1 wound through, but Deathwing Terminator Storm Shield fails and dies. Alright, Deathwing turn 2 combat phase and Deathwing turn 2 is coming to a close. Just to recap, I think it was in my favor. I think it went well for the Black Legion. These guys specifically using my command dice to cut down that dread with their combat knives. It only had 2 wounds left. That was huge, because now the Land Raider is free to shoot. They're free to shoot. Brass Scorpion's free to shoot and get repaired. The only thing that's still tied up is this Rhino, because of all the knights that piled in. The useless Possessed, but for God's sakes, I mean, at least he's tying him up.
He can retreat, though, now.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have him retreat like a little coward.
Have the cultists
finish the cultists will take care of his light work. Because cultists are better than Possessed. We'll find out. I bet you they kill more. You watch. We got Blizzle in the command squad coming down this. Let me tell you guys, command squads of characters are amazing. They're scary, scary things. So they're coming in. And then over here, the Contemptor is still tied up. But now that the Storm Shield's down, I have faith that he's going to win that fight handedly in my turn. So that's the lay of the land going into Black Legion turn 3. All right, Black Legion turn 3. It's getting late, so we're trying to keep moving here. What went down? Contemptor staying locked over here, obviously, because I think we can win that. Better part of Valor is what we learned from Abaddon is the tactical retreat. So Lord Moros
they didn't have a land raider to retreat into, but
right. So it's not smart to run up here against this command squad of doom. We don't have Thunderhammers and Storm Shields like they do. So we're gonna fall back down to here. And what we've done with the Possessed, he has fallen back from the combat in the middle, and he's actually going to be doing something useful for his 21 points a model. Yeah, I said it. He's gonna be a bullet magnet and be the closest target.
21 points in front of my.
Right. So, sorry, GW, I apologize. I did find a use for Possessed. It's dying. Oh, wait, no, the Cultists are still better at that than they are. No, scratch that. Possessed don't do anything. Never take them. Anyway, the Cultists are going to they're going to mop up this squad of Terminators that the Possessed failed to do. Idiots. The Chaos Space Marines are moving to block the Land Raider, so he can just be firing for the rest of the game. Glaucus the Blasphemer has moved back. He's going to repair and shoot. We can't see why you can't. Scorpion moved up like 1 inch away from the Deathwing Knights. The Rhino it's this one that fell back, and this one moved into a better firing position. And that's that. John is convinced that the Deathwing are about to be mowed down mercilessly by the Black Legion, and this might be the end of the game. But I say no. We shall see what happens. Black Legion turn 3 shoot. Psychic Phase, sorry, going to break in. I know I said shooting, but it is the Psychic Phase. Lord Moros putting +1 to hit prescience on the Chaos Space Marines. And casting Smite over here, doing D3 damage, does 3. Kills the Terminator and puts a wound on the last one. All right, Black Legion turn 3 shooting. It really wasn't that good. Scorpion, with the aversion, fired his tail cannon into the Knights. Nothing. Failed to do anything. The Flamers into them actually did 2 wounds and killed one Knight that was already wounded. So the Scorpion doing all right, cutting down a Deathwing Knight, and then fires the Soul Shatter Bombard. Boom! Kablam! 9 damage to the Dreadnought, blowing it up. That gun is just savagery. And then over here, the Rhino actually putting a wound onto the Deathwing Knights from his bolter. Good job. The Land Raider put all his las cannons into the Dreadnought before the Scorpion shot. And he did 4. No, he did 5 damage to it because you're venerable. He did 6 damage, but you're venerable saved 1, right. Doing 5 damage to him, leaving him with 3 left, and then the Soul Shatter Bombard did 9. Right. So it was like heinous overkill. This Chaos Space Marine squad, they're proving their worth. They fired all their shots into the Deathwing Knights, overcharging one of their plasma guns, exploding and killing a guy, but they were able to actually kill an entire Deathwing Knight on their own, which was great. Warpsmith fired at the Deathwing Knights as well, but failed to do anything. Over here, Cultists stepping up for glory. To beseech the Dark Gods, they cut down a Deathwing Terminator, the Cultists, with their fire. And then the Chaos Lord back here fired his Combi Melta into the Terminator that was there and killed him.
The last Terminator.
Yeah, the last Terminator. But it was funny because the Cultists fired a deluge of autogun fire, and it was like 9 1s to hit. And the Chaos Lord back here has his aura that gives him reroll 1s to hit, and he's like, gives him the stern glare. He's like, guys, I will seriously kill you. And then he shoots Jimmy.
He said, I will turn you into a Possessed if you don't.
I will. That's right. That's right. He said, I will nerf you and turn you into a Possessed if you don't fire better. And they did. Those 9 dice re-rolling from 1s all hit.
All 5
It was crazy. So, yeah, apparently threatening people with possession even if they're cultists, is a bad thing. So
I feel like it may harm children. I don't know.
I'm not going to threaten my children with possession.
Some say they already are.
Maybe some days. I don't know. Anywho, Sorcerer Lord Moros firing at this character here, doing nothing with his bolt gun. So overall, I'd say an average turn of shooting, except for blowing up that dreadnought. That was good. So, but we're going into the charge phase. John's still convinced that I have him at this point. So we'll see what happens. Black Legion, turn 3, combat. Brass Scorpion charging into the night with his 8 attacks. Gets 4 wounds through, and he rolls the Storm Shield saves. 5 up, or 3 up.
3 up.
3 up. Oh, my hands are tired. 3 up, and only kills 1 Deathwing Knight. It's doing 6 damage to him. So, he's dead. And then, just to show you guys how deadly the Scorpion is, they have a 3 up invuln. If that would have been an Imperial Knight, right there, 4 damage gets through. Imperial Knights don't have an invuln save in close combat. That's 6 damage each. That's 24 wounds that would have been done to an Imperial Knight and just killed it outright. That's crazy, but it only takes out 1 Deathwing Knight. So there's the power of the invulnerable Storm Shield. So cool.
And infantry.
And infantry as well. You only take out the 1 per dice. So that's just, wow. There you go. It's some food for thought. Chaos Contemptor. After the charging unit of the Scorpion, I picked him to go first, and Squish-a-Doodle smashes that guy's face right in, and he's dead. Good job, Contemptor. You finally fought your way out of a wet paper bag. All right, Deathwing Knight activating against the Scorpion. The might of the beast. The Knight holding his Mace of Absolution high. Plank does nothing. It didn't even hurt it at all. So that's that. Black Legion turn 3, and at this point, since the backfield is cleared out, John, it's very late, and John has to work tomorrow. So he's going to be skedaddling here. We're going to call it. And honestly, if you look at the board, his objective is to table me by the end of the game. This is the bottom of, that was the top of turn 3.
Or 4. I don't remember.
Yeah, turn 3. We're going into his turn 3 here. I just don't think you're going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to table me from this point forward. It was a good run, and we could play it out, and I'm sure it would be excellent and a ton of fun. We hate to cut it short, but we're dying here, and it's time. Yeah. But you got to see, I think you get to see a bit of how the Deathwing plays. They are very durable, I think.
Super durable, yeah.
Super durable. The amount of damage they were taking is...
Storm Shields are just out of this world.
Storm Shields are phenomenal. And I will say, these Thunderhammers and Power Fists everywhere... Absolutely no joke. Like Belial over here, I mean, he just wiped out a whole unit of Terminators. Like every time the Deathwing, yeah, right. So it's like there are a lot of points to Terminators, but every time they hit something, they just destroy it if they get something through. So now the lack of attacks is a kind of a big deal. I think I would have liked to see your banner guy go down the middle more to support better. But I mean, right. If we went on, who knows what would happen? And yeah, I do apologize to, but seriously, we don't think. I mean, the Land Raider has 1 wound done to it, for God's sakes.
And that was done in the orbital bombardment
game. So I think we're gonna
take it probably 30 wounds.
I mean, you've done a lot of damage to the Scorpion, yeah. And he keeps getting healed. He got healed 4 damage so far. And as the game goes on, John is going to lose the ability to hurt it, and my healing just keeps coming. So, we don't think the Scorpion was OP by any stretch of the imagination. It was strong. It's very strong against vehicles. I'll say that. Yeah. Vehicles was devastating with the Soul Shatter Bombard. But I mean, he killed what? 3 or 4 Terminators and a Dreadnought and a Land Raider, which is still great. Yeah. That's about his points. Yeah. Actually, it's not even his points that he made back, but he did good there. So who do you think MVP for the Deathwing? Who are you calling?
Good question.
The Dreads did good.
The Dreads did do good. I want to say that Dread that charged the Scorpion turn 1.
And yeah.
And tied it up, made you retreat, did 9 damage to it.
The one that got hit by the melted gun. Then
yeah. Like I feel like he really took up for this. He exemplified the Deathwing leadership charging out in front, leading his pack.
Yeah.
Taking on the Scorpion mano a mano, forcing it to retreat. I mean,
he did tie it up.
I feel like he gets.
That's true. He was brave, and something needs to be said for bravery. So yeah.
So the other guy didn't get shot in close combat. So I mean, like, I feel like he gets a gold star on the day.
I agree. It's either between that and Belizel. Belizel. I mean, he didn't have much effect on the game, but man, he made his presence known on the right flank. Yeah. I'm gonna go with my MVP for the match. MVP for the match for the Black Legion. Dare I say the Brass Scorpion. Maybe the Possess. No. Okay. Definitely. One thing we're sure about.
They got a total of 0.
No, they killed like one.
One?
One.
Okay, one.
A 10-man squad. It's like 200 something points.
So like what, 40 points?
So definitely not the Possessed. Oh man, it's tough to say.
It's gotta be come on.
Yeah, we're gonna go with the Brass Scorpion. That Land Raider shot was huge, and he did have a huge effect on the game. I think mentally, how you're supposed to deal with it, and just the presence of the Scorpion definitely gets in your opponent's head. So there you have it. Like we said, we're sorry to cut it a little bit short, but there you go. There's our second game at 8th here. A little narrative mission. The Deathwing are going to cut losses before the entire first company is destroyed, and this will not be the end of the engagement between the Disciples of Caliban and the Black Legion. There is more to come. Sorcerer Lord Moros was not able to meet Brother Nicholas. There he is. And sort out their sordid past. But maybe that's right. Maybe in future battle reports we'll see more of the narrative coming. But here we go. Initial engagements on this world in 8th edition, and our first narrative battle. I think it was fun. We had a good time.
That was the meat grinder mission.
Right, the meat grinder mission, which is a tough one to win for the attackers. That's a tough mission.
Tabling is difficult.
In 5 turns, until you roll for the random. I mean, you have basically, so
things are much more durable in 8th edition.
Yeah, and I will say I think Chaos Space Marines are a very durable army. It's from one of the games I've been playing them. So cool. Not as durable as Deathwing. Awesome. So thanks for watching. Check out more on our YouTube. Please subscribe and like if you like what we're doing. Check out our Facebook at it's Facebook and it's LWD Lancaster Wargaming, and join us for some good discussions. And see you next time on LWG.